today's video, we're going to be talking about the altered scale. This is actually a really cool scale, and you can find it in all sorts of styles and genres. You can find players like Guthrie Govan. You can find players like Greg Howe. Really all kinds of players in jazz, jazz fusion, rock, all over the place. It's a really good scale for functioning dominant chords, resolving down to the one chord or to any type of chord really, just as long as it's a resolving chord, a chord that resolves. Now there's a couple different ways to look at the intervallic construction of this scale. You can look at it as the normal way, I suppose, which is 1, flat 2, flat 3, flat 4, flat 5, flat 6, and flat 7. Now I really don't like to look at this scale like this, because if you stack it up in thirds, you're going to end up with a minor 7 flat 5 chord. And that's not really the case. That's not really where you start applying this scale. You usually apply the scale over a dominant chord. So the other way of looking at it is by getting the guide tones of a dominant chord, which are 1, 3, and flat 7, and then just adding all the different altered notes to those guide tones. So a flat 2 or flat 9, sharp 2 or sharp 9, flat 5 or sharp 11, and sharp 5 or flat 13. It's just the same thing, or flat 6, however you want to look at it. Anyway, so you end up with 1, flat 2, sharp 2, 3, flat 5, and sharp 5, and then flat 7. So again, it's a very practical way of looking at it, because it looks like a dominant chord with all the different alterations that you can add to it. And that's really where you would apply the scale. Like I said before, you'd play it over a dominant chord. Now there's a whole bunch of different ways where you can learn this scale. The first way of learning it is just by looking at the intervallic construction. Like I said before, it's 1, flat 2, sharp 2, 3, flat 5, sharp 5, and flat 7. And then just applying those notes, those different intervals, all over the fretboard. The second way of learning it is through scale diagrams. And to get those, you can actually go over to my Patreon account, go into the interactive YouTube experience, and I'm going to be uploading the different scale diagrams over there, so you can find those over there. And then you have the parent-scale relationship. This is the last way of looking at this scale. Something that's very important about this scale is that it's the 7th mode of the melodic minor scale. And we have to look at that relationship to look at the parent-scale relationship. Now, it's a very simple process. Like I said before, this scale is used over a dominant altered chord, or a dominant chord that's resolving. And all you got to do is go up a half step from that chord and play the melodic minor scale. So let's say we're in A. So we have an A7 altered chord, which would mean A7 flat 9, A7 sharp 9, A7 flat 5, sharp 11, flat 13. Really whatever type of alteration that you want, as long as it's resolving, you could play the altered scale. Now, from A, you want to go up a half step, which would be B flat, and you can play the melodic minor scale from B flat. So again, come back. You have A7 altered, and you would play the B flat melodic minor scale. And that's pretty much all the different ways that you could apply this scale. Now, this is really handy scale to play over a dominant chord that's actually resolving. Why? Because it creates a lot of tension, and it gives you more of a jazzy sound. Alright, so that's it for this video. Remember, you can follow me on any type of social media. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm also on Patreon. A quick shout out to all the guys that are giving me some support over at Patreon. I also want to invite you guys over to my website, juanantoniomusic.com, where you can find different private lessons. You can also find my book, The Art of Scale Weaving, and my 2 box sets with the guys from Guitar Tutorials. Alright, thanks for watching.